Welcome back to the Courtside podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Keaton Lee. In this week's episode, we recap games 3 through 4 of the NBA playoffs, the second round to be exact. Discuss why I think Wemby should have been suspended. Discuss why I am so elated that the Bucks are finally gonna find a trade for Giannis. And who do I have winning game 5? That's all coming up here right now on the Courtside podcast. Alrighty then. Let's start with the first game 3, and that is the Knicks and the Sixers. And I gotta say this, the Knicks might be win the title. I'm not gonna lie. They might win the whole thing. Uh First of all, you got Jalen Brunson, who had an okay game. I mean, he didn't have a clean game, but he had 33 points. Mikal Bridges had 23 points. Josh Hart had 12 points. And their bench was actually led by Landry Shamet, who could not miss with 15 points. As for the Sixers, I mean, Kelly Oubre had 22 points. Joel Embiid had 18 points. Paul George had 15 points. Tyrese Maxey had 17 points. VJ Edgecombe had 11 points, and their bench was led by Quentin Grimes with 6 points. Next game up, we got the Wolves and the Spurs, and honest to God, this game was very fun to watch. You got Wemby going for 39 points in this game. De'Aaron Fox was decent. He had 17 points. Devin Vassell had 13 points. Stephon Castle had 13 points. And their bench was led by Keldon Johnson, the sixth man, with 11 points. As for the Timberwolves, I mean, Ant, he had 32 points in this game. Rudy Gobert had 13 points. Jaden McDaniels had 17 points on 22 shots. Julius Randle had 12 points, and their bench was led by my favorite and your favorite, Naz Reid with 18 points, and Ayo Dosunmu with 11 points. Next game up, we got the Pistons and the Cavs, and this game was actually really competitive from start to finish. You got Cade Cunningham going for a triple double with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Jalen Durham was decent in this game. He had 11 points. Duncan Robinson had 15 points. Tobias Harris had 21 points, and the bench was led by Paul Reed with 11 points. As for the Cavs, I mean, Donovan Mitchell was amazing in this game. He had 35 points in this game. James Harden had 19 points. Evan Mobley had 13 points. Jared Allen had 18 points, and their bench was led by Dennis Schroeder with 11 points. Next game up, we got the Lakers and the Thunder, and all I gotta say is I don't even know what to say at this point. SGA had 23 points. Chet had 18 points. Aja Mitchell had 24 points. Lou Dort had 10 points. Isaiah Hartenstein had 12 points. And their bench was led by Casey Wallace with 16 points and Isaiah Joe with 12 points. Next game up, we got the Knicks and the Sixers, and all I gotta say was I gotta give credit to Philly, man. I know it was a lopsided series, but they fought hard in this series. It wasn't easy though, you know. I mean, you got Deuce McBride going for 25 points in this game. Jalen Brunson had 22 points. Mikal Bridges had 12 points. Josh Hart had 17 points. Cat had 17 points. He had 10 assists, which is something you never see. And their bench was led by Landry Shamet with 12 points. As for the Sixers, I mean, Joel Embiid had 24 points. Kelly Oubre had 10 points. Tyrese Maxey had 17 points. And I mean, their bench was non-existent this game. He had 9 points. Was led by 9 points by Dalen Terry. Next game up, we got the Spurs and the Timberwolves. This was Wemby's actual game that he actually got ejected from. But he did have 4 points. De'Aaron Fox had 24 points. Devin Vassell had 14 points. Stephon Castle had 20 points. But the real star of the show was Dylan Harper with 24 points. I gotta tell you, this man's gonna be a star in this league. As for the Wolves, I mean, Anthony Edwards had a very clean game. He had 36 points. Ayo Dosunmu struggled in this game. He had 10 points. Rudy Gobert had 11 points. Jaden McDaniel had 14 points. Julius Randle had 12 points. And their bench was led by, once again, by Naz Reid with 15 points. Next game up, we got the Pistons and the Cavs in another very competitive game between these two bitter rivals. Cade had 19 points in this one. Tobias Harris, who's been balling out in these playoffs, he had 16 points. And their bench was actually led by Karis LeVert with 24 points and Paul Reed with 15 points. As for the Cavs, I mean, Donovan Mitchell was an absolute dog in this game. He had 43 points. James Harden was decent. He had 24 points. Evan Mobley had 17 points. And their bench was led by Dennis Schroeder with 7 points. And now finally we got the Thunder and the Lakers. And I gotta give credit to the Lakers, man. Even though it was a sweep, the Lakers, they fought hard in this series. SGA had 35 points. Chet had 16 points, even though I think he traveled in his last 2 points. Aja Mitchell had 28 points, and their bench was led by Jarrett McCain with 13 points. As for the Lakers, I mean, Luke Austin Reeves had 27 points. Rui had 25 points. Braun had 24 points, and their bench was actually led by Jackson Hayes, who was actually a man with 18 points. And that is it for me recapping all games 3 through 4 of the playoffs. So briefly, we're going to talk about, you know, who is it? What am I supposed? Oh yeah, Wemby and his suspension. And according to reports, Shams just said earlier today on the Pat McAfee show that Wemby is not going to be suspended for elbowing Nasri in the head. And my biggest thoughts about as I thought about this entire day was that, honest to God, I think Wemby should have deserved to be ejected. Now, I know Spurs fans or like NBA fans are going to be like, why would you say that? Like, and stuff like that. Let me tell you this right now. I've been watching the NBA for pretty much majority of my life. All right, as I said before, I've pretty much watched like I said last episode, I've been watching the NBA since I was in kindergarten. Like I remember watching, I think it was a Celtics game. It was Celtics Lakers or Lakers something as a 5-year-old. That's how far I've been watching the NBA. And what Wemby did was unacceptable. I will say that. All right, like Brian Windhorst said, it was unacceptable. Okay? Like to me, I understand that Wemby was frustrated, but Wemby, I know you don't know who I am and I don't know who you are in person, but Wemby, here's the thing. I know you were frustrated with how Jaden McDaniels and Nasri were playing defense on you. I understand that. But here's the thing, bud. All right? You could have just let it be. You could have just you could have just played on. Because what happens in the NBA is they're gonna see the person who ended it. Like meaning that like let's say you punch somebody. Let's say somebody punches you and nobody sees you and then you punch them back and then the refs catch you. They're gonna ultimately toss you out. It's sort of like when you get in trouble with your siblings. Like let's say they punch you or they hit you and like let's say your mom or dad doesn't see it, but then you punch or hit them back, and then your parents see you, and then you say, but they started it. All right? They're gonna be like, it doesn't matter. We caught you. You were the one that we saw get like punch. We saw you. Sorry, I can't speak today. We saw you issue the punch. You're in trouble. All right. Again, I think I don't. I think I'm the only person here who thinks that Wemby should have been suspended. I understand um that he shouldn't, but at the same time, like Wemby, you gotta be better than this, man. All right. I understand that you are frustrated with how they were playing defense on you, Nas Reed and Jaden McDaniels, but you gotta be the bigger man. All right, and just shrug it off. Okay? Because as I said before, the refs caught you punching them. I understand that they were playing aggressive defense on you. You don't retaliate. Because then the refs are going to see him like, Wemby, get out. You're ejected. All right. So those are my 2 cents. Those are my thoughts. Let's move on to another topic. Let's talk about something happier for me because, like, obviously, I'm a little bit down today because obviously the Thunder beat the Lakers and I'm kind of sick to my stomach because I know my Uncle Tony is kind of disgusted by it. But, I talked to him yesterday and he right now, even though he's like a little bummed out, he's in good spirits and he told me he's going to root for the Spurs as our last hope. Let's talk about the Bucks because according to Shams, let me actually pull up Shams's tweet right here. Let me actually pull it up because I have to remember what Shams said. You know, let me see. See if I can find it. Let me see if I can find the. I know you guys are probably wondering, like, what am I doing right now? I'm gonna try to find Shams's tweet. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay, so it says here, all right. Actually, this is what there's a video on Shams's feed about him discussing it. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but this is what he says, okay?
This future, finally, some movement, maybe a decision there. Hannah, league and team sources tell me that the Milwaukee Bucks are officially open for business on all trades and calls, offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, entering the draft combine this week and over the next 6 weeks before the NBA draft. This has been a 12-month-long saga between Giannis and the Bucks, but co-owner in Milwaukee, Jimmy Haslam, last week said that this will either end in a long-term commitment from Giannis or a trade elsewhere before the June 23rd NBA draft. And this all surrounds one very important element. Giannis has made it clear for a period of months now that he believes the time has come for both sides to move on, to part ways. The Bucks have resisted over the last calendar year a trade, believing that they can still win and compete with Giannis, but that's depleted their asset base, their talent on their team. And now they are in a reality where they will be listening. They're fully open for business. And as far as Giannis' stance on the fact that he believes the time has come to part ways, I'm told nothing has changed. So now the conversation will turn to where does he want to be long term? Where will he commit long term? Because an important note, he only has one guaranteed year left on his deal that gives him significant sway and power over his future.
You guys won't believe how excited I am to hear that news. All right. Let me repeat that. You guys won't believe how excited I am to hear that news. For those that don't know, I have been sick and tired of this Giannis requesting a trade drama for the past year. Like I've said it before and I'll say it again, that Giannis should have requested a trade a long time ago. All right, and it really drove me crazy because like I respect Giannis. Like because I think he's one of the best players in the league right now. All right. He is a top 5 player when healthy, and he's a demon when fully healthy. All right. Now, I will say this. If you asked me what team he should go to, I'm gonna say probably like a team that has a lot of assets. I do like, for instance, I don't think the Rockets are gonna blow up their team. Like I know a lot of people are saying that, oh, Giannis should go to Houston and this and that. I disagree with that. I think Houston's gonna run it back. All right. San Antonio, I don't think they're gonna blow it up. Okay. Like this team won a playoff series with their young core, and even though they're kind of neck and neck with the Wolves, I don't see them blowing it up. All right, the Thunder, I really do not see the Thunder doing it, you know. So I think about the other teams. Boston, I realistically don't see Boston, even though there's a lot of reports saying that Giannis could request a trade to Boston. I don't see that happening, you know. So I don't know. But I will say again, I am beyond happy to hear these news. You know, because as I just said, this news has been way too over, like, has been delayed for quite some time, you know. Who will be the best, fit for Giannis if you had to like pressure me and say, King, you have to pick a team right here? I know it sounds crazy, but I'm gonna say Golden State, you know. Golden State has a lot of assets. All right. And I think, with Giannis and like Steph, I think this could probably help Steph win another ring. But at the same time, I'm kind of worried because I've seen Giannis with a ball dominant guard before with Dame. All right. And I know people are going to say, but Kihun, Steph is not a ball dominant player. Yeah, I know. So all I got to say is that we're in for a wild ride towards, as Shams just said, what is it, June 16th or something? You know? So I'm ready for it. In fact, I might post on my TikTok about Giannis getting traded. All right. But yeah, that's all I gotta say right now, you know. But anyway, let's get into our game five picks for this week. So let's see if I could go through game five. Let me see if I can find game five. So we got the Timberwolves and the oh yeah, I'm actually gonna do before we get into our picks, I'm gonna briefly talk about the Lakers and apologize, because as many of you guys know, I for the past few years now have been the biggest critic of the Los Angeles Lakers. Like even if you ask my brother, who doesn't watch the NBA as much as I do, but he knows that I'm a very harsh critic with the Lakers. My Uncle Tony, shout out you, is arguably the biggest Laker fan that I know, you know? And, I'm going to come on here and apologize, because this team, I'm honestly thinking about it. I think they should run it back with this same team, except I do think they need a center on this team. Now, what center should they get? I don't even know. But great season by the Lakers. You guys, even though you guys have the most obnoxious fan base in the entire NBA, you guys deserve it. You guys absolutely 1000% fought so hard against OKC. All right. So yeah, those are my 2 cents. So for like a little spoiler of my offseason needs for the Lakers, a center slash run it back. You heard it here first. But now let's get into our game five picks for this weekend. Starting with the Timberwolves and the Spurs. I'm actually going to take the T-Wolves here. I think the T-Wolves right now, I think they're feeling hot. They're feeling motivated after winning game four. I think they win this game. I do think if San Antonio wins, I won't be shocked at all. But, I think the Timberwolves, they're gonna rally here. So I'm gonna take the Timberwolves. And then finally, we got the Cavs and the Pistons. I know people wonder like, why am I saying finally? Because game, as you guys can see my screen, game six and seven haven't been, updated yet. So that's for another to tell. But anyway, um, Cavs and the Pistons. This one's a hard one just because the home team has won both games in this series. The Pistons won games one and two. And the Cavs won games three and four. I'm going to take the Cavs in this one, but as I said before with the Timberwolves and the Spurs, I won't be shocked at all if the Pistons win this game just because I think, as I said before, the home team has won both games. So yeah, those are my picks for game five. Game five. So what are you and then let's say we do go to game six. I might actually, let's do a game six. I will take the Spurs to win game six, and I'll take the Pistons to win game six as well. And then they'll all go to game seven. Spurs take game seven, and the Cavs take game seven. All right. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoy this video because I enjoy making it. If you did, please give a like, subscribe, turn that post notification bell. I might drop three videos this week because, the conference finals might start this weekend, so I have to be on 10 toes down. But with that being said, I have a fantastic evening. Stay safe, stay warm out there, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.